斎藤家家臣明智十兵衛光秀と申す。いざ尋常に。長いこう止めたか。無作法な。この石頭は、このうつけは俺が切る。
Hi, I'm Cris. Welcome to Ocd Geeks.
And I'm Jack. Hi guys, welcome back.
So, for those of you who are not familiar with us, we are the host of the Ocd Geeks as well as Ocd Geeks podcast and YouTube channels. On Ocd Geeks, we focus mainly about the gaming world. So, for example, recently we chatted about the Paramount Plus Halo TV series. While Ocd Geeks, it's kinda a mix of our passions and interests. For example, language learning, as well as music, books, TV series and movies, as well as mental health. So you're welcome to check out Ocd Geeks as well.
Yes guys, today our focus is on a video game, but at the same time we will share a lot of our memories and background.
For those of you who already know us, you know guys well that I have a big passion for Japan. Actually, I'm studying Japanese as a hobby, while Jack has a passion for language learning too. So we decided to pick up a game that came out last summer, 2021, that is called Samurai Warriors 5. The original title in Japanese is Sengoku Go, that is developed by Omega Force and published by Koei Tenko. Actually, this is available for all major platforms, including Nintendo Switch. This game talks about medieval Japan. It focuses on the Sengoku period, that is known in Japanese as Sengoku Jidai. We can translate as the Warring States period. That is a part of Japanese history that was characterized by fighting and almost like civil wars that goes from 1467 to 1615.
Quite a bloody time to live in, Chris.
Yes. So that's why we are going to experience a fantasy style of this period throughout this game.
Sure, and you know guys, I was not familiar with this game until Chris told me about it, and of course a lot of memories came back to my mind because I had the luck and opportunity to visit Japan a few years ago. It was, if I'm not wrong, February 2018. We took a quite broad tour around the country. I was with a group of friends. They studied architecture. Our guide was an architect as well, so I could have some really deep insights on Japanese culture and also on the Meiji periods that Chris is focusing on right now. Basically, mostly in Tokyo, we had the chance to see and visit many temples, most of them built during the Edo time, which for Japan it was quite vivid and florid years to live. It was kind of a renewal and a renaissance for all the culture. As soon as Chris told me about this game, I saw the setting and the historical part. It made me recall all of my visit through the temples and how I got to see a lot of paintings in the temples that were resembling these Civil War times.
Since the game came out almost 1 year ago, we decided to start talking about the game and widen our horizons to the Japanese culture and history in general. I'm sure that if you are passionate about this saga, most likely you had the chance to try the game, but if you never experienced Samurai Warriors 5, I will totally recommend you. In this game, you're going to play famous Japanese historical characters such as Nobunaga Oda. You know, this game is not realistic by all means. It has some kind of anime style with some Japanese traditional paintings vibe. It's beautiful, especially if you're going to experience it on platforms such as the Xbox Series X, the PS5, but also the Nintendo Switch OLED. You're going to fight in major battles almost like a superhero, so you're going to defeat hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of enemies with all special effects and abilities, almost like magical. This is not realistic by any means, but it's still interesting that is inspired by actually real historical characters and events.
That's great that there's this background of historical events, because it's always good to spot some of the old happenings located in times. As you were telling about the wars and the fights, Chris, I don't know why, but I had a cross-cultural enlightenment, because I remember the famous movie with Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai, which also takes place back in the Middle Age times and in the Civil War for Japan.
So this style of game is known as Muso as well as hack and slash or warriors, because it is the 5th installment in the Samurai Warriors saga. But actually I've never played this saga before. This chapter is kinda a reboot of the entire series with new stories and new graphical style, more inspired, as I said, by Japanese anime and traditional painting style. Me, as a Japanese language student, I really enjoy that basically voices are acted in Japanese with English subtitles. At least for me it's quite complicated to understand, because they are using the traditional samurai style of language, not something that most likely you are going to encounter if you are going to chat with your Japanese friends, but it's still a meaningful insight.
Yeah, that's true. It's always difficult to understand a particular inflection of the language.
Yes, and you know, guys, that especially if you studied Japanese like me, but you know, Japanese is quite a complex language and there are all kinds of different styles, like more formal as well as informal, and of course all the dialects that are specific of Japan.
When I was in Japan, I didn't have the chance to get a lot of language tips. My knowledge was really basic to the greetings, and I couldn't understand, of course, anything. That was why we had a guide with us who was translating all of the stuff that the monks in the temples were telling us, and when they were explaining all the tips about history and culture. So
yes,
we had really this big advantage during our visit.
Another aspect that me as a music passionate would like to stress out is that the soundtrack is kinda a mix of modern as well as traditional Japanese music. It's fitting well the atmosphere of the game. It's something that I'm sure I will enjoy even outside my time playing the game. So for example, you can hear more modern vibes as well as traditional instruments, for example the shamisen, that, you know, guys, if you watch the recent anime These Snow White Notes, that is called in the original Japanese as Mashiro no Oto, you are totally familiar. You know, Jack, it's the traditional instrument that resembles the guitar, but it has fewer strings without frets, something that is unique to Japan.
Yes, I think I've heard it many times watching anime, and it is so melodic. I think it's perfect to give this Eastern vibe.
Yes, this is a game that I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I did. If you haven't got the chance to play it yet, I will totally recommend you. And it was recently on sale on the Xbox digital store, but I'm sure that you can easily get it at a discounted price. So if you are even remotely interested, I would recommend to go for it. And if you have a big passion for Japan like us, you are more than welcome to subscribe both here on Ocd Geeks for more gaming contents. Follow us on Ocd Geeks, both available on YouTube as well as major podcast apps, to chat about geeky pop culture as well as mental health. There you can find plenty of contents dedicated to Japan as well. For example, in the last episode I chatted about the Japanese series Hashimete no Otsukai, that is known as Old Enough, as well as well-known shonen series My Hero Academia. So you are more than welcome to check out our latest episode as well.
Yes, check our Instagram pages, jack.ocdgeeks and chris.ocdgeeks.
So guys, did you play Samurai Warriors 5? If so, what's your opinion about it? Let us know in the section comments down below on YouTube, or as Jack said, contact us directly on Instagram and Twitter. You are more than welcome to reach to us.
So guys, even for today, we can close with our sentence, let them talk our freaks.
We keep playing on Ocd Geeks.